If you listen to the songs and page through social media posts, this is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. But for many, it's not. The shorter days, the heavy expectations for the perfect holiday experience, and broken family relationships can amplify depression, anxiety, and grief. Well, join us this morning. We welcome Danielle Austin, a social worker and outpatient therapist, to talk about the importance of self-care, giving yourself some grace, and how to be okay with not being okay.
Absolutely.
Good morning. Well, we just had a conversation with my mom friends. We have a thing called Mom Moments, and the pressure moms put on ourselves this time of year of just making sure everything's perfect. But beyond that, there are a lot of people who are grieving right now. This is a very difficult time of year. So let's first start out and talk about boundaries. How do we set boundaries?
Absolutely, and you hit the nail on the head. We have to be mindful that everyone is not excited about this time of year, and also we're still in a pandemic. So there's a lot of anxiety set right now. So feeling comfortable saying no. You don't necessarily have to show up to everything. If you're not comfortable being in large settings right now, that is okay. The most important thing is listening to yourself and being intentional with how your body is responding to certain situations.
So let's talk about that a little bit more, listening to your body. What are we listening for?
Absolutely. You may see that you may be more exhausted. It gets darker a lot earlier. That is confusing. That, it creates a sense of anxiety and depression. If you're feeling that you're overwhelmed being in certain settings, perhaps, at the family gathering, someone's missing from the table this year. So taking a minute to really pay attention to how you're responding to that particular situation and inserting a time to kind of reset as necessary.
Okay, now you recommend self-care. I recommend self-care.
Absolutely.
What are some suggestions that come to mind when you say self-care?
So self-care is different for everyone. You have to really look at a sense of quantity versus quality. You may not have that much time, so you want to participate in self-care that's really going to benefit you. Some things, for example, aromatherapy, practicing breathing exercises, mindfulness, getting outside, getting some fresh air, exercising, just taking a minute to really be intentional and be present with yourself. That is the most important thing.
Yeah, you've got some examples of some ways that you can practice self-care. It smells so good, by the way. Tell us a little bit about what you have here and how we can apply that into our lives and to administer that self-care that we need.
Absolutely. So there is evidence behind essential oils or aromatherapy. It's been around since the early 1900s. And actually inhaling these smells, it's a direct passage to the emotional part of the brain. So there are several ways to use essential oils and aromatherapy. A lot of people use diffusers. Some may use bath salts in a warm bath. I make candles and I use essential oils in those candles. Some may even roll some essential oils on like their wrists, temples. There's just different things. And again, combining that with those mindfulness practices and those moments that you're really present with yourself are good benefits to relax.
So in combination with the essential oils and mindfulness practices, what's an example? One example.
So deep belly breaths is a good one, and that's one that I use often with clients and with students. So the candles, let's actually envision that you're blowing out a birthday cake, but instead of, in one big breath, blowing them all out, we're blowing slowly and the flames are dancing. So you want to have a good deep belly breath, breathing in possibly 3 seconds through your mouth and through your nose, and slowly blowing out through your mouth, and envision those flames dancing on that cake.
Wow.
And just repeating that sequence a few times until you feel yourself kind of coming down. You can complete this practice as many times as necessary, but it's just really just quieting out all that outside angst and being intentional and being present with yourself.
I love that. And some oils and scents do certain things, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Lavender is very popular. That is a calming smell. A lot of people may use this in relaxation, helping you to kind of calm down before bed and sleeping. Again, a diffuser is a good way. If you don't have a diffuser, you can put a few drops on a cotton ball and smell on the cotton ball and take some deep breaths. Eucalyptus is a good one. Peppermint is energetic. So there are a lot of popular ones, but there's a lot of research out there to support and help you find the best one for you.
Awesome. They all smell great. And then I also noticed you have bath salts.
Absolutely. So those are infused with eucalyptus and peppermint. Those are actually my favorite. Eucalyptus is my go-to for anytime I'm feeling overwhelmed, but it's a combination of that hot bath and those smells and the therapeutic properties from the salt, from the Himalayan pink salt. So all of those combined really create a good calming evening.
And honestly, as much as they smell amazing, it's great to hear that it does actually make a difference.
Absolutely.
In how you feel. And when you feel better, I think you're more present and you're able to be more functional around and with your loved ones. And let's face it, this time of year we're around a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially making up for last year when we weren't around a lot of people. So yeah, try to be in your best self. But first, you have to carve out some time for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I love that thing about what you said about listening to your body. All right, well, this is a great bag for me to kind of just rack up on all these here. Christmas for me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Danielle, this was very helpful. Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
And thank you for reminding us of taking some time and listening to our bodies and taking care of ourselves. And also remembering the fact that there are others that are struggling and doing a lot, struggling during this time, and it's a difficult time, so being mindful of them as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.